Phobias are intense, often irrational fears that can make everyday situations feel overwhelming. From spiders to public speaking, heights to tight spaces, these fears trigger anxiety that feels very real. In this quiz, we'll explore 25 phobias, their names, and what triggers them, offering insight into how our minds react to fear. Whether you face these fears or are simply curious, this journey will uncover the fascinating nature of phobias. What's the fear of spiders called? That's arachnophobia. How about the fear of heights? That's known as acrophobia. Flying can make many people nervous. What's the phobia for that? Aerophobia. The fear of flying. What's the name for the fear of wide, open spaces? That's agoraphobia, the fear of open spaces. I've heard of people being afraid of small spaces. What's that called? The fear of small enclosed spaces is called claustrophobia. What do you call the fear of needles? Needles. That's trypanophobia. And the fear of speaking in public. Glossophobia is the fear of public speaking. What's the fear of dogs? It's called cynophobia, the fear of dogs. Some people are afraid of storms. What's that phobia called? That would be astrophobia. I've heard about a fear of germs. What's the term for that? That's called mysophobia. Is there a specific phobia for water? Hydrophobia is the fear of water. What's the fear of clowns called? Coulrophobia, the fear of clowns. How about the fear of blood? Hemophobia is the term for the fear of blood. Is there a name for the fear of failure? Yes. That's called atachyphobia. What's the fear of darkness? Nyctophobia, the fear of the dark. What about the fear of death? The fear of death is known as thanatophobia. Is there a phobia related to driving? Yes. Vehophobia is the fear of driving. And what's the fear of snakes? Ophidiophobia is the fear of snakes. What's the name for the fear of elevators? Claustrophobia, the fear of elevators. Is there a term for the fear of being alone? Yes. Autophobia is the fear of being alone. What do you call the fear of birds? That's ornithophobia, the fear of birds. And the fear of dentists. Dentophobia, the fear of dentists. What about the fear of fish? Ichthyophobia, the fear of fish. How about the fear of insects? Entomophobia, the fear of insects. Is there a name for the fear of crowded places? Yes, it's enochlophobia, the fear. Phobias are intense, often irrational fears that can make everyday situations feel overwhelming. From spiders to public speaking, heights to tight spaces, these fears trigger anxiety that feels very real. In this quiz, we'll explore 25 phobias, their names, and what triggers them, offering insight into how our minds react to fear. Whether you face these fears or are simply curious, this journey will uncover the fascinating nature of phobias.